again. This is John. This is a 1991 500 SL, 39,000 miles. And I think this would probably be the fourth video on this problem with this engine. The high idle has returned. Thought I had it nailed. It's been about maybe a month and a half since my last video, maybe 2 months. I replaced the idle control valve after doing all this testing, and it worked great for a couple months. Yesterday I went out for a drive. Where did I have to go? Yeah, I went to Lowe's, I don't know, 8 miles away. Temperature outside was about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot. I'm in Southern California, so it's a hot, dry climate here. Had the AC on and everything. I pulled in Lowe's. It idles fine when it's cold. And as soon as it gets up to temperature to about between the 85 and 90 Celsius mark on the gauge, that's when it acts up. During the winter, it doesn't seem to do it because it's always cold out, right? But this car has had this problem for many, many years. And at first it was kind of intermittent. And it slowly started getting worse and worse. Only when the car was fully warmed up on a hot summer day. So I bought this one. It was $319 on Auto House AZ in Arizona. And it's a genuine Mercedes-Benz part, according to their website. I don't know if they're remanufactured or what. So what I'm going to do is my game plan is to remove it and send it back and get another one. Well, I got the valve out. I got to do voiceover because my audio somehow disappeared. But this is the valve, got it out, and there's the part number right there. You know, it's got the Mercedes logo, the right part right there, and if it would focus, it says like made in Germany. So what I'm going to do is on Ben's forum, my buddy Rob M gave me a link to a site, I don't know, right after I bought this. And this one is in Germany. It's made by a company. You can see right there, MEF, whatever service. And they remanufacture these things, and the price is like 83 euros, which is like, I don't know, maybe like $90 something. And then there's probably $40 shipping. Could be a little less from Germany here to Southern California. And I'll put a link of this, if I remember, in the video description. Now, a week later, we've got this box straight from Germany. There's their QR code. Okay, it's all in German. And there's the idle control valve. So this was about, it was like about $90 US, which ain't too bad. That's under $100. And the same part. Same part was $300 buying here in the United States. It's online. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to do a cold start. Hasn't started in a while, so let's see. Okay, there. I can hear the pumps pumping up. The fuel pump it back there, building up pressure in the line because it's an old car and they do that. They hold pressure. They're supposed to hold pressure for like, I don't know, 48 hours. But then after 48 hours, it starts diminishing. And so, unless you drive it every day, then it starts right up. But this will be probably a two twists of the key. Let's hope it starts. Let's hope it starts. It wants to. Yeah, fit right in, no problems. All right, so see, it's going to be hard to get this thing up to temperature. It says outside temperature 76. I don't know, I'll keep letting it idle, but so that's in park, it's normal. That's about, you know, maybe 6. Put it in drive, it should go to about 550. It does. Well, okay, so the idle is still high. So about at the 82 mark. It goes back to normal. See how it's hanging up? Linkage. It's the damn linkage. I tested that once before, though. It was all I lubricated it all before. Okay, so here is the throttle diagram. So it starts over here, so I gotta lubricate everything here. Here, this is the part that goes down, real hard to get to, and it looks like it goes to the bottom of the throttle valve, throttle, fuel distributor, throttle body. I was not able to lubricate this because it's hard to get to. I might have lubricated this side, but I don't know what all this is here. I'm just gonna get down there and lubricate everything, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Then it's got this. This is accessible. That's accessible to lubricate. That's all accessible to lubricate. Yeah, I'm glad I found that. So it might be just down here where it's hanging up. It's opening something. I don't know. I've never had it apart. So I'm gonna have to name this video "I Was All Wrong." And I'll have a big open mouth person, AI generated person. I was all wrong. How could I be so stupid? But, you know, I mean, live and learn. Right, so just doing a little research, you know, because I've never had to mess with anything down there. But so I have a 91 500 SL, right? This is for R129 90 to 92 500 SL. It's a throttle body with throttle position sensor. Okay. So there's a throttle body sensor. Here's a throttle body. Trying to zoom it in here. All right. So this is what's buried down there in the engine, top of the engine, but it's you can't really see it. We'll try to see it with a flashlight or something. I wish I had one of those little cameras. But you can see, okay, part of that linkage attaches right there, and then you have these return springs, right? So I don't know, a couple years ago when I was having this high idle problem when it warms up, you know, I lubricated everything I could. Pretty sure I shot some WD-40 or something, or some, you know, lubricant, one of those little straw things. But, you know, I was thinking, well, why is it only after it warms up? You know, I was thinking, could one of these return springs be weak or broken? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll try to inspect it with a flashlight and a little handheld mirror if I can get down there. But there's a lot that could go wrong, you know, like there's a lot of points to lubricate. I don't know if this would be lubricated in between here, but, you know, definitely around here. Probably this might, don't know until I look at it. They did have, I think some of these throttle bodies had ASR, and I looked that up. I don't have ASR. Let me try to get my phone going here. So what I found was that, I'll read it to you. Not all Mercedes 500 SLs have ASR. It stands for Acceleration Slip Regulation. That means when you're taking off, your wheels don't spin in the back. So I don't have that, so when I give it full throttle, it'll do a burnout. It does. Let's see, as the system was introduced on the R129 SL platform, the early 1990s, what's that say? But was absent on the earliest models. While some sources state that the module was used in a R129 from 91 and 92, others confirm it was present on models from 92 onwards, indicating a transition period where the system was not standard across all models. So I have a pre-ASR model. I don't have a little light on the dashboard that says ASR. I just confirmed that. Early 500 SL models, particularly the 1990 and 91 model years, did not come equipped with ASR. ASR introduction began to incorporate it in the R129 platform, which includes the 500 SL around 91-92 time frame. ASR as standard system became standard feature on the R129 500 SL from 92 onwards. See if I can. So here's a I think this is a 91. He said this is Victor from Restore Your Mercedes. So the idea is just to, you know, lubricate everything and test it, you know. But what I find is, why is the problem only happening when the thing gets warm? You know, there's something that is expanding that, you know. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong. Okay, so he says this car's a 91 and it's got the ASR. So I think it's probably a lot of times with these Mercedes, even the 300E, depends what month it was manufactured in. You know, this is probably a late 1991 and mine is probably earlier month, because 91 and 92, you know, they kind of put something new in it and it just carries on to 92 onwards. So I think I'm lucky. He's working on some kind of a limp mode, and this thing, it was this thing that this ASR thing was responsible for the limp mode. I'm glad I don't have that. You can see the stupid linkage down there. God, and there's all this stuff on top of it. You can't really, you know. Anyways, okay. All right. Still doing research. I'm trying to educate myself, but yeah, this thing right here, it's got a part number on it that's located down right in there. And that's part of the linkage thing that, you know, goes from here, thing down below. And I ran that part. I got the part number. It's kind of buried in there, but I've managed to get it. And there's not a whole lot of information on it. But it shows up as a cruise control actuator. Victor is calling it a throttle actuator, but then he's got an ASR. So, I mean, when you have a cruise control, you turn it on and this thing turns on and regulates your cruise. You know, it just regulates it, right? Or sets it. So, I go back. I'll give you the number if you got one of these early cars having problems. Let's see. So there's the number right there. And I only found it 2 places on the internet. One is the eBay, and it says other control unit. So the guy didn't know what it was, but that's the number right there. 408-201/1/14. Yeah. I don't think that thing, unless the cruise control, I've never tried the cruise control. I should try it sometime. You know, the throttle's just normal with everything that's, you know, in there. I don't think this thing has anything to do with it other than setting the cruise control. All right, so here's here's what's down below down there. Luckily, I was able to see it. So that's just moving a throttle plate. That's where I can lubricate it with some 3-in-1 oil I'm going to use. If I can get it down there, maybe put a tube on the little can. Yeah. So that does, you know, I wonder if I guess I can lubricate all this stuff again. I've already lubricated it, but man, it just like disappears. I think there's a spot there and that. Like where all these things going to? Where's this thing going to? You know, this little bar thing right here. Where's it going to? It disappears. I can't really get to it. Oh, okay. So it's hooked onto this bar here that also turns. Yeah, that bar turns. Okay. Yeah, so now here's another, just, you know, I'm just looking at everything I can about throttle bodies, you know, a little refresher. I haven't had to deal with it. So you can have all kinds, you know, of issues with a dirty throttle body, right? This is on a newer car, but, you know, they're kind of same. This is, I don't know what that part is. But you can clean them out. At least mine's going to be really hard to get to without taking the top, all this stuff on the top. But it can cause poor fuel economy. You know, if you have a dirty throttle body like that, you know, maybe mine is dirty. Could be hanging up. Maybe there's a little weird ridge there or something like that, you know, because you got a shaft going through it. See, we got all the springs and all that for the linkage, and some of them can be really nasty. Like, let me see, I got it. Where was he? Had a picture of one that was just caked. But you know, I was just thinking on the 300E, like, yeah, look at that, look at look at that. On the 300E, this can cause poor fuel mileage too. You know, I was working on trying to get my son was complaining that it's getting like, I'm getting like 10 miles to gallon, 11, you know. And I had gone through the whole car. The only thing I didn't think of was the throttle body. But, you know, it has, when it gets that dirty and gummed up and sticking and stuff like that, it messes with your air-fuel mixture, and the car stumbles and, you know, has other symptoms where it's running like crap and bad fuel economy. So I was thinking, you know, maybe we'll investigate that. But maybe on my car, maybe it's dirty there. It's 39,000 miles, but, you know, I mean, it's 30 years old. So anyways. All right, so I got all the linkage lubricated. I just took this 3-1 oil, put a little tube on it to get down to the bottom mechanism down there on the throttle body to really lubricate those joints that are hard to get to. And I did a lot of the other ones, and then I used a spray lubricant on the ones up top. Did all that. And now I'm just gonna start the car, warm it up again. I've been driving it around probably 45 minutes trying to get it warmed up, because it's about like 70 degrees here and it's just hard to get it warmed up. But I got it about the 85 mark. It sounds pretty good. Cool. Well, I think that's, I hope that's the fix. I won't know until next summer when it hits 90 degrees out and this thing gets, you know, between 85 and 90. see where we're at. Yeah, that's the 85 mark. That's great. I'm so happy. So it was a huge waste of money. Okay, now let's try this. Because a lot of times it would happen with heat soak. So, close the hood. Pretend I'm going into the store to go buy something for 10 minutes, then come out. That's when it would happen a lot. I'd drive someplace, it'd be fine, and I'd go in the store, go shopping, come out, I don't know, 15-20 minutes later, start it up, and it would be stuck at a high idle. I think all that lubrication, I don't think I've ever been able to lubricate that throttle body. I think that's it. I remember only other car I had that problem with was a 1978 Chevy pickup truck. It's a 3/4 ton with a Chevy 350 engine, and every once in a while the idle would get high on it, and I'd go out there and WD-40 the linkage on the throttle body. God, I should have done that a long time ago. But I lubricated everything last, a year ago when the problem was happening, or a year and a half ago. And it probably went away for like a year, and then it just started coming back intermittently. So, old cars. Okay, it's been about 10-15 minutes. This will be a good test. These cars are so low to the ground. All right, let's fire it up. See, there's no ASR light there anywhere. Right, perfect. Yeah, we're still at about the 82 Celsius, so I'll really know next summer when it hits 90, 100 degrees and I'm driving the car, but I'm pretty sure that that's it. So yeah, if you got one of these early cars and that high idle, before you spend money buying an idle control valve, lubricate all that linkage, especially down at the throttle body. I think that's where it was at the throttle body. There's two areas where the thing goes like this. I think that's where it was hanging up. Great, now you can put it all back together. I'm so happy. Yeah, I thought maybe this thing here might have been causing something, but it's cruise control. And it's weird that it was only happening once the car's warmed up. You think that, when the car is cold, I mean, it would have been hanging up then, but there's something about the heat, I guess. Those metal surfaces down in here and the throttle body, the metal gets really hot because it's like sitting right there. And so there might be some there's some plastic parts in there too. Maybe they expanded and started hanging up. Anyways, yeah, lubricate that area right there. I lubricated all these like bushing things here. And then there's more linkage down there that you got to get to that you can't, you know, you might be able to, probably you can use a spray thing. Probably use a spray thing, you know, in a can right there. I just didn't want to get oil everywhere. All right. Hopefully this will be the end of this problem. This is I think the 4th video I've done on this, maybe the 3rd. You know, and I just, you know, I was on Ben's World and everybody was like, it's your idle control valve, idle control valve. You know, all the forums, idle control valve, that's what they do, 95%. Well, it wasn't the idle control valve. It was the damn linkage. All right, this is John. I'll see you on the next thing that we come across. Later.